Now do you see why there has to be a profound change? You have to be reborn. You need a new nature. See, a new nature. So that's why you need to find what it is that Adam fell from. You need to find what it is that Adam fell from. And then you have to rebond with it. And live. And that must be your new life. No longer a life of tease, challenge, resentment, ambition, striving, struggling, reacting to stress, and hiding in fantasy, hiding in the imagination. Too much imagination. See, that's where we hide, with the assistance of music and drugs and movies and video games and so on. You don't need imagination. What you need is intuition. See, you need to begin to see in God's light and live in God's light and experience God's light. Okay? I want to read something to you. It's very beautiful. It's from Mr. A.B. Tozer. Mr. A.B. Tozer. Let me read that to you now, if I may. Here it is. This is Mr. A.B. Tozer. Initials A, middle initial B, last name Tozer, T-O-Z-E-R, was very famous. You may not know him. Some of you do. He's very famous. He's a very popular preacher. He wrote a lot. And he was a very thoughtful man. Very thoughtful. he was a very thoughtful man. So here's something that he wrote in his 365-day devotional. He had a devotional. Listen to this. Sound Bible exposition is an imperative must in the Church of the Living God. In other words, reading the Bible and studying it and learning of it and hearing it. Maybe not studying it. Maybe that was a wrong word. Hearing it. Okay. He says it's an imperative must in the Church of the Living God. Without it, no church can be a New Testament church in any strict meaning of that term. But, he says, exposition of the Bible, in other words, hearing the Bible and thinking about it and so on. But exposition may be carried on in such a way as to leave the hearers devoid of any true spiritual nourishment whatsoever. In other words, you can read all the verses and hear all the verses and think about the verses and be no closer to, remember what I said? You have to refine what Adam fell from. So now here's the good part. He says, for it is not mere words that nourish the soul, but God himself. See, it's not mere words that nourish the soul, but God himself. It doesn't do you any good to hear nice words, or to mouth nice words, or to drum up emotions over nice words. There has to be the impact of God himself. See? And for the person who begins on this path of restoration to what Adam lost, see, learning becomes different. See? So, for example, the person who comes back onto the path, this path back to what Adam lost, doesn't study the Bible, because by studying is fixating and concentrating and focusing, and it's hypnotic, and it gets you caught up in the words, which is not what you want. What you want is to defocus, defixate, deconcentrate, stand back, okay? And then you hear the words, or you read them, okay? And then sometimes there's something within, quietly, silently says yes, wordlessly says yes. So, see, something wordlessly testifies or bears witness to what the words are saying. And the words, what are they doing? They were written by someone else who was inspired in the case of the Bible, but all they do is bear witness on the outside to what you know in your heart. So it's the internal testimony that's the important thing. The internal testimony is from God, and it's wordless. No words. Silent. But it's like seeing, realizing. Okay? It's like the aha moment, the eureka moment. It's like, wow. Okay? Or yes. Or, see? Somehow it touches you deeply. Not the words, but within. The within is telling you yes to the words. See? So when you see what the words mean, so now the words can go, you can let go of the words. You can put the book away. Or whatever, or what you were listening to. And now you realize the meaning. And that realization came from God within. Okay? Then you can go about your daily activity having had that realization. And maybe that one realization is enough for the day. There can be a lot in it. See? So, A.B. Tozer says, "For it is not mere words that nourish the soul, but God himself. And unless and until the hearers find God in personal experience, they are not the better for having heard the truth." The Bible is not, I'm continuing to read from Tozer, the Bible is not an end in itself, but a means to bring men to an intimate and satisfying knowledge of God. That they, see, let's suppose you hear something. Sometimes I hear a preacher on the radio say something, and there's something that, there's something about what he said that somehow is highlighted for me within. Somehow it's meaningful. Somehow it's it's timely. See, and I have an interest in it. Other times I hear, someone spouting hundreds, thousands of words, nothing. But then all of a sudden there's something. See, it's the aha moment. It's the internal testimony. Something within, see, is saying, this is wordlessly, is saying, yeah, this is something to take note of. And then in that inner light from God, the inner light from God, I realize, see, meaning. So Tozer says the Bible is not an end in itself, but a means to bring men and women to an intimate and satisfying knowledge of God, that they may enter into him, that they may delight in his presence, may taste and know the inner sweetness of the very God himself in the core and center of their hearts. Okay, now it's very beautiful. So you get it? So now this lineage is all that we have. This, remember, it was doubt, disobedience, ambition, and it led to this fallen life. And that's what you inherit of that lineage. See, if you have some turkeys, then they have little turkeys. They have a turkey family, and then little turkeys come along. Those turkeys are a chip off the old block. They're like mom and dad turkey. They're very little different. That's their life. And then they grow up, and then they have little turkeys. And those little turkeys are just the same as mom turkey and grandma turkey, grandpa turkey. You see? So from Adam, you are just Adam or Eve again. That's all. The only difference is some people realize that that's not enough, that there needs to be more. And then they search, see, and yearn for that more. See, but that more is of a different lineage. A different lineage. See, that more means to then grow in a new lineage that has nothing of the old Adam in it. And the old Adam that is of you, that you are, begins to slowly melt away as a new being. See, with Christ as the leader. See, Christ is a new Adam. Instead of doubt, Christ continued to have faith in the Father. Instead of disobedience, Christ was faithful. See? So he's the new Adam, the new leader. Okay? Leader of the first of a new race of beings. Okay? My name is Roland.